For many, the Interlagos circuit of Brazil is the rightful conclusion to the Formula One calendar. Despite its facilities lagging behind and the threat of a replacement Rio GP, the Sao Paulo layout has become a legendary venue, loved by fans and drivers alike. So should the Autódromo José Carlos Pace return to its position as the final race in the season? This is all you need to know about Interlagos. The circuit held its first race in 1940, but held its inaugural F1 event over 30 years later in 1972. However, this was a non-championship event. This formality was used by the FIA to test the track's success in a top-level environment. Clearly, it succeeded, with the following year hosting the first championship race in Brazil. This was won by Sao Paulo native Emerson Fittipaldi, who would go on to win the following race as well. This layout was much longer than the modern-day circuit, and its design brought about safety concerns. The local governments chose not to invest in the improvement of the circuit, and therefore, the race was moved to Rio in 1978. Meanwhile, the circuit held national races and the design was tweaked. However, its return to the Formula One calendar would come as requirements for F1 venues changed, and the Rio race could no longer financially support an F1 event. Therefore, with the help of the mayor of Sao Paulo, the circuit was reinstated. This new shortened venue also included a new race control tower and new garages in a £15 million renovation project. Alain Prost would go on to win the inaugural race, and would eventually win 5 more times, becoming the most successful driver here. Brazilian Ayrton Senna would only win twice here, in 1991 and in 1993. Since then, the Formula One layout has barely changed, with only pit lane entry and exits, along with runoff areas seeing any change. As the track is in Brazil, the next section will contain some Portuguese, and my pronunciations will be questionable to say the least. The lap begins with a short straight into the Senna S's, obviously named after the late great Ayrton Senna, a Brazilian motorsport icon whose name is now found on many circuits across the globe. This is a challenging section of track which leads into turn 3, Curva do Sol, meaning Sun Corner. The back straight is known as the Reta Oposta and is one of the 2 DRS straights on the track, with the start-finish straight being the other. The next section is called Descida do Lago, and means lake downhill due to, well, a lake downhill from the corner. Another straight brings us to Ferradura, meaning horseshoe, as in the old circuit the corner was shaped as such. However, it no longer bears this resemblance. Then Laranjinha, meaning little orange. Orange is a Brazilian name for inexperienced drivers, and the complexity of the corner makes it one of the toughest on the track. Then Essa before Pinheirinho, meaning little pine tree. There is very little on the origin of this, but if you have any knowledge on this, leave a comment. Then Bico de Pato, meaning duckbill, due to its likeness to a duckbill. Recently, this corner has become infamous for the first of Hamilton's crashes into Alex Albon, as he was on for a podium. Then Magulho, meaning dive, due to the downhill slope as the corner continues. Junção then follows, meaning junction. This is otherwise known as Is That Glock corner, as it was here that the famous final lap drama of the 2008 GP occurred. This is found before Subida dos Boxes, meaning boxes uphill, or in this case, up to the pits. In some maps of the circuit, the final curve is regarded as a corner, known as this, which I won't even attempt to pronounce. This means bleachers or grandstands, as grandstands do follow the curve on the outside. It is here that the pit entry forks from the main circuit. The track is run anti-clockwise, unlike most other classic tracks. Overall, the track is 4.309 kilometers or 2.677 miles, with the fastest lap held by Lewis Hamilton with a time of 1 minute 7 seconds .281, making it one of the shortest on the F1 calendar, hence the 71 lap race. The layout has either 15 or 16 corners depending on whether that corner is regarded. So does it deserve to be F1's closing event? It most definitely has the pedigree, having hosted some of the most exciting title-deciding races in Formula One history, most famously the title-deciding races of 2007, 2008 and 2012. In the former, rookie Lewis Hamilton was looking favourite to become the first rookie World Championship winner, with the other title contenders reigning world champion at Renault and Hamilton's teammate Fernando Alonso, who had made a move to McLaren at the beginning of the year, and Ferrari's Kimi Raikkonen. Famously, Hamilton suffered a mechanical issue, resulting in Raikkonen winning the championship by just 1 point to both Hamilton and Alonso. The following year would see an arguably more memorable race, in which Lewis Hamilton would win his first world title and his only for McLaren in spectacular style, passing the Toyota of Timo Glock on the penultimate corner on the final lap, to beat Brazilian home favourite Felipe Massa by, again, 1 point. This is arguably the most dramatic climax in all of racing history. Finally, the 2012 contest saw Sebastian Vettel spin on the first lap of the race, not an uncommon sight these days, and then completing an incredible recovery drive to become a triple world champion. This is the origin of the famous image of Fernando Alonso after realising his championship was lost. It would hold its final season ender in 2013, before that title was given to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. To this day, we are yet to see a race comparable to the excitement of Sao Paulo, from both the racing and the adoring crowd, one of the most passionate in all of motorsport. However, it is unlikely that the rights will ever return to Interlagos, due to the obvious financial incentive from a massively affluent nation such as Abu Dhabi. Since the awful 2020 race in the Middle East's largest emirate, in which even the commentators were speaking of the lack of good racing, the request for Interlagos' return at the end of the calendar has become more widespread than ever. In my opinion, a race that has such history and that we know can produce regularly dramatic races belongs in one of the most recognised positions on the calendar. And if Formula One was dictated less on financial incentive, I'm sure that the Brazilian Grand Prix would complete the Formula One calendar each and every year. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe for more content in the future just like this, and leave a comment of other tracks you'd like to see in the future.